Well, good morning, people. Hey, first thing is an announcement, which is that if you looked at my channel, you might have noticed this. Okay, so this is Clerical Errors, a movie that I wrote, directed, scored, completed back in 2000, I think, 15. It is now available here on YouTube. You know, the trends in the marketplace with the companies that distribute films like these ones that I've created is that they're really, everything's being released pretty much wherever possible. So it isn't just like Amazon and Tubi, and YouTube is certainly becoming one of the destinations. I just decided with this picture I'm just going to release it myself, not even deal with a distributor. It's kind of been sitting on the shelf for a couple years, and it's really sad because I went back and looked at the thing. It's like, this is really kind of a funny movie. Now, between me and my subscribers, I will say this: if we just take a glance here, this is a film that was actually completely produced, beginning to end, like all of my films actually. For less than $10,000. And you'd be surprised how many digital effects there are in this film. Like this shot right here. Well, okay. This shot right there. I'll try to get the pause button this time. This is actually a Blender job right here. This is the kind of thing, you know, with special effects, the whole goal is to make them invisible. Boom. That shot is actually two completely different shots, and if I remember correctly, it was actually split here because I wanted it to make look like the guys were, you know, passing in and out of the scene at exactly the same moment, kind of thing. So, but yeah, this is actually quite an entertaining film. Check it out, see if you like it. I believe I have it open to comments, so hopefully nobody's gonna pan it. But again, you know, this is a movie that was produced on a very shoestring budget, and I think the result is, put it this way, it was in the theater for 3 weeks, and it has consistently been well, let's call it an audience pleaser. People seem to really enjoy the film and be glad that they saw it. So let's leave it at that, and then you can decide. Your mileage may vary. But anyway, okay, back to work. Where we're at is, I just redid this. I don't think I posted a YouTube video about this either, but redid this shot, and because I didn't like the characterization of Akari in the previous version of it. Now I think I'm going to leave these two quick stills that are from the earlier version because you know, I think they pretty much capture what I was trying to do. But right here, okay, so this shot is horrendous. This is one of the worst shots in the show. It's 119. I think it was actually done in Blender 2.8. And it's got to be completely redone. So that's that. Let's get to it. First thing I'll do is let's just save this. And I'll open another instance of Blender 2.8. And just let's see if that was what happened. 119. Let's see if it's actually a Blender shot. Feel pretty good about the progress, though, because at this point, let's see, going back to the edit here, I'm reasonably satisfied actually with all of this. I'm sure there will still be a few tweaks when I go back again, but we're really getting close to the point where Act 1 of this episode of this show is, in my view, satisfactory. Probably what we're going to do is kind of what I've alluded to in other videos is let's throw the Act 1 out there as a bit of a demo piece and maybe pursue a crowdfund situation to underwrite the rest of the episode production. We'll see. I don't know if that's the direction we're going to go, but I'm thinking probably it is. Okay, so what was this shot? This is 119, I believe. 119.mp4. Let's see what we have here. There is no 119, so that's actually good news. Let me look at, usually when I see a situation like this, I usually go back and, yeah, so that is the previous shot. and one jumps to 121 from there. So you know, for me that's actually really good news, because everything that I ever did with the Blender grease pencil in 2.8 just really proved to be a bust. So I'm not knocking Blender 2.8, although it's not my fave for this type of a production, but at this point the only thing I really can see using Blender for in the animation space would be pencil tests, which it's great for, or that's for the grease pencil, and then otherwise using Blender for, you know, 3D particle effects and post-production, like camera moves and things like that. It's all good for that stuff, and it's amazing, actually. It's a tremendous tool. So what did I say we had? We had 119, right? Let's see what we have. Is it Krita or is it OpenTunes? It does not appear to be Krita. Let's open 120 to see what that is. Yep. Okay, so we're going to have to go back and deal with that shot too. So let's go to OpenTunes and rock and roll and make this thing good. Taking a drink of my tasty beverage, which at 11:55 in the morning is just water. Hot water, actually. So we are looking in Val's Anime, and we're going to open another scene, and I trust that there is in fact a 119 here. So we'll jump up to here, and there it is. Let's see if there's any weirdness going on with the paths and whatnot. Nope. Well, it appears to be pretty straightforward. Good. Immediate question I would ask myself is whether this is a Toons raster level, and it appears to be, which means, happily, that this can be fixed right out of the gate. Okay, so let's save that. Okay, so now it's a question of what are we going to do with these dad blasted characters. I think step one is to just simply erase her. Let's just get her the heck out of there. She's not helping, and really they need to be on separate layers anyway. So let's just do that. And now let's deal with Zen directly. He's got a bit of dialogue. He says, even if they are shinobi. Okay, so let's just see what we have from a voiceover standpoint or a lip sync standpoint. Okay. Frankly, I don't think Zen looks too bad. Although IMHO, I would say that his face is a little screwy. So let's do it this way. Let's go to full screen mode. Let's grab a screen grab, and then what I'm going to do is just jump into Krita with a new project, just so I can quickly create the tweak that I'm looking for, and then I'll probably just drag that tweaked version into OpenTunes. So I'm going to go ahead and paste this. Let me check the sizing of it. Okay, yeah, I mean that basically looks pretty good. I'll size it down a little bit so it fits the broadcast HD format. And that way there's still room for Akari to be in the shot. So yeah, that'll work. She's going to be standing here. So now let's turn this down a bit. Put a layer above it and file, save as. I'm going to go ahead and save this as 0119. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's 0019. This is 119. Okay, so there we go. Okay. So what do we want to do here? Well, I'll show you. Basically, actually, hang on a second. I'm going to go grab my notebook because the strict character designs that I did for Zen are in that notebook. So hang on. This is going to take about 10 seconds. And there's my 10 seconds. Okay, so I'm looking in my notebook as we speak, and I'm going to just scroll over to the page that has the character breakdown for Zen. And with that in mind, Come back here. Okay. Let's go ahead and do a pencil test version of it. And I'm going to just go ahead and open this up to full screen. Okay, so the performance lag you see is pretty much because of OBS running in the background. So what I'm going to do is just mostly trace this. And then we'll come back and address the aspects of it which are not quite up to scratch, which is mainly his right eye. Here's what I'm having a bit of an issue with. So there's that. I mean, generally I'll say I like his expression. I think all in all it looks pretty good. But okay, so now again what's lacking is this here, so let's go. Okay, yeah, not bad actually. Let's in solo mode. Okay, that's interesting. I was going to say the performance seems to be actually a little bit better, not a lot, but a little bit better in solo mode when Krita only has to process one layer at a time. So I'm just going to kind of say his expression is a bit ornery. And the exact shape of the chin. So now the eyes are a little bit better synchronized. And one thing about Zen is, let's see, we'll just have an indication of that ear. Okay, one thing about Zen is that his hair does come down behind a little bit. That might be a little too much. So let's kind of do it like that. And then this one, let's just say it should probably come up about like that. Let's flip it and ooh, okay. Boy, am I glad I flipped it. Holy crow. Well, it just goes to show. It just goes to show. I'm going to take this whole section right here. Okay. Right, and now in my model sheet, this here's a little bit more scraggly. Now I don't know if that's gonna fly. Yeah, that'll probably be okay, actually. Yeah, because we never really see him too much. Okay, there we go, there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and give him, let's just sync this up now. Okay, say this needs to be a little bit fuller, and the hair definitely should come down further. Okay, something more like that. And better save our work. Don't want Krita blowing up. Now he's got these gray steely gray eyes that so basically what I'm saying is his irises are important to his design. Some characters that's not so much the case. With Zen it most definitely is. Now his mouth will be on another layer, but okay, let's flip that. Excuse me. Okay. The one concern I have now is, yeah. Okay, he needs to have a little bit more neck. That bull neck he's got going on. And, well, we'll leave it at that for the moment, one thing at a time. So we're going to go like this, and then I'm actually going to expand this more bigger so that we can then, oh boy, control select A. Yeah, everything's performing so poorly. I'm so disappointed in OBS. It used to be so performant, and the more you update, the worse it gets, in my experience. And the worst part is I had a version I was using for months where the NVIDIA GPU accelerated compression seemed to work great, and then for no explicable reason it just quit working. And the CPU started spiking like at 90% and stuff. Meaning that version of OBS, I had to basically just quit using it. Little disappointing. What do you use for YouTube streaming? Got a preference? Put something in the comments for me. Let me know. At this point, you know, this is a 32 gigabyte memory, 12 CPU, literally 12 physical cores, faster than Lightning Machine, and yet programs like OBS, a freaking desktop screen capture program, brings it to its knees. Wow. So ridiculous. So sad. But there it is. Okay, so this is probably okay. I'm going to actually go here and just do a little bit of sculpting. Remember, this is just the pencil test, so we got, if it gets a little bit fuzzy, that's okay. Again, performance is atrocious, horrendous, inexplicably and indescribably bad. But we're working with it. Okay, so that's interesting. I just hit the B key to paint, and everything disappeared. And probably one of the most remarkable things about what you're seeing here performance-wise is this Krita file. It's 14 megabytes. It's like nothing. Absolutely nothing. Crazy. Okay, so that's what you deal with if you want to have a YouTube channel. Right? Right? Okay. What's really kind of bugging me here is, and I'm going to flip this just to, yeah. That seems to be more like what it should be. Okay, that I'm pretty happy with. So I'm going to save that. It's a good compromise. And let's turn that down. Okay, I must be in, am I in solo mode? I am. So I'm going to turn that off. Turn this up slightly. And let's use the ink pen that has no pressure sensitivity and just kind of see how that goes. Advanced color selector. Let's go with kind of a brownish color for an outline. Okay, so now what we're going to try to do here is create a inked image that we can drag into OpenTunes and use. Right? We're going to use it. Duh. Okay. Boo doo boo ba doo doo. Okay. Boom. Ah, that didn't work. Let's turn on the smoothing. Okay, well that didn't work either. And I'm hitting the Z button. Let's jump out of here and look at our tool options. Yeah, it's the stabilizer. Okay, let's just kind of go about 50% and see. It's coming out really wiggly. And again, it seems to be kind of a function of the performance. So what I'm going to do is, wow, I just clicked and nothing happened. Jeez. Okay. Okay, so that's cool. Let's save our work. Save early, save often, right? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just go ahead and use the old Bezier tool. Boom. So at least I can get a clean line. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. 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 Let's curve that a little bit. That's cool, I think. Or maybe not. Okay, I'm turning the smoothing back off. Fortunately, the smoothing doesn't seem to be helping much today. Okay, now why don't we flip the canvas and even do a little curvature. Curvature meaning, duh, rotation. You knew what I meant. Okay, let's get this boy's eyes. I better switch to this pen that has a little bit of pressure sensitivity to it. Little bit of pressure sensitivity. Oh, brother. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, let's pull back and see what we have. Okay, that's cool. Excuse me. Let's see. Let's turn the... Okay. I guess what we'll do is we'll give this a try. It's close. I think what I'm going to do is just put these on a different layer. Ooh, that one came out good. Okay. Not bad, not bad. So I guess we'll merge those down later. We'll just postpone it for the moment. So this is Zen Ink and Paint. What about the guy's nose? Okay, and this is Browse. Always name your layers. This is mouth. Okay. Now, let's double check that. Yeah, that spacing looks pretty good. So on the mouth layer, we will turn on onion skins. I guess actually we want to go Control Insert. Control Insert, I said. I said Control Insert. There it is. Okay, so apparently what I needed to be doing is clicking here in the timeline. Sorry. Okay, mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4. And insert. Insert. Okay. So we're going to follow the standard anime convention of doing two mouth shapes that toggle, and I am going to say that okay, and in this case I think what we'll do is we'll just fill it in like that. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Okay, so now he says if they even are shinobi. This is one frame too far ahead. And here I'm going to go ahead and insert cool. Alright, let's save this. I know I'm kind of breaking the rules here because this was supposed to be happening in OpenTunes and I sort of got carried away, didn't I? If they even are shinobi. Okay, so now this is going to have to replay. If they even are shinobi. If they even are shinobi. Yeah, it works. That works. Okay. So, we'll call this Zen Ink, if I could spell. And we'll call this Zen Paint. So that should be under this. And with that, let's go here and Alt print screen. So that effectively just became my color model. Okay. So let's grab all these guys, put them in a group. Control G. Control G, and I'm waiting for for Krita to respond. And it looks like it finally did. So we'll call this Zen. And we will sample the flesh tone. And we're kind of following best practices here a little bit by doing the paint in a separate layer. All this business of using behind mode and stuff is, you know, it's like it's kind of cool, but generally it usually causes more problems than it saves. The advantage you have is that you can if you want to do like a deformation of your whole character and have all the layers work in concert together, then it's fairly easy to do. So that's basically the upside. So I'm just going to hand paint the whites of his eyes. Not that one though. Okay, so here we need to get the steely gray shade. You guys got some good looking eyes. Zen paint. Come on, Zen. Where are you? Boom. And boom. And boom again. Okay. And then I believe his hair is... okay, well this is the actual color. So let's fill that up. Ooh! Major leakage, baby. Okay. Up, there's the leak. I see it. I see it right there. Ooh. Boy, that's taking a long time. But okay. So now I'm going to take my paintbrush. This is actually an example of this. See, like for example, if you really wanted to avoid, actually strike what I was about to say. I was gonna say you could actually use Inherit Alpha to lock off the head and then fill in those little cracks, but actually you can't, because the fact that the cracks aren't already filled means that Inherit Alpha is not going to affect those spots. If that didn't make any sense, don't worry, there's not going to be a test. Okay, let's get his garment color. Fill that. Fill that. Cool. That really looks pretty good, I have to say. Let's go ahead and put it in motion. I just saved it, so we're safe. And then we'll go ahead and... Okay. Yeah, a couple things on the paint layer. Let's go ahead and make sure that everything's filled in here. Yeah. Okay, and then what we want is a shadow layer. And by the way, the mouth really should not be as opaque as it is. Should probably be about there. Yeah, about 75–80%. Cool beans. So now let's add a shadow layer. And we are going to rock and roll, baby. And we only need one. We only need one layer. Or frame, I guess we should say, since this is a static drawing. Let's go ahead and use this brush again. That was interesting. We really want black for the shadow layer. Boom, boom. Okay. Nope, that's not what we want. We want to go from here to here. Cool. Get that. And then we'll just kind of go a little bit crazy here. Now if you're freaking out because this is like really ridiculously bold black, don't you even worry. Don't you even worry. We're going to be fixing that here in half a sec. Boom. Okay. And we'll put that down about there. Even further. Okay, not bad, not bad, not bad. Now, just for completeness, continuity, I'm gonna make a note of whether we had an under eye shadow before. I think it looks good. Okay, and now what we need to do, yeah, is, okay, let's put the opacity of this down a bit. Okay, and we'll kind of fudge the specular. Might be a tiny bit aggressive there. Tiny bit aggressive. Okay. So the only thing that feels like it might be missing is a bit of shadow action over here. Yeah, I didn't like that. Okay. So he says, even if they are shinobi, so check that. So we're saving our document and okay. I'm not totally thrilled with this mouth shape. Zen is demonstrating a little bit more tude here than he normally does. Savvy poo. Okay. Shadow layer, boom. Back to this brush. Nope. Don't want two of those. But I do want one. Okay. Ooh, that didn't quite work. But you know, it makes me think if I turn the opacity down, that's not too bad. I like that. Okay, so now we got to get Akari in there, and the question now becomes, why are we not going to actually steal an Akari from a different shot or scene? Before we go too far, let's just delete this background. I can pull that out of the archives. So there's our pencil test. We don't need that anymore. As far as I can tell, we don't need that anymore. That's just our color guide. So save. Okay. So now what's horrible, well, we already erased Akari out of here. So let's see what we have. I'm going to scan through old shots and see if we can find a really sweet Akari to use. I actually like that one. Okay. What if this was flipped? I'm actually going to cut this in. I'm just going to do it this way. I'm just going to hit Control C. Control C and paste it in. Just so I can... Okay, that's weird. Why? Oh, why? Oh, why? I guess I didn't do print screen. I hit Control C instead of print screen. Like a dummy. Okay. So now we're going to take this and we're actually going to flip it. Okay. We're going to move that underneath that layer. Scale that up. Scale that up. Let's see what that feels like. You know, we're just kind of playing here. Boom. That's interesting. So, seems like Krita's definitely taking its time processing that. But let's grab this, and then we'll crop it to the frame size so it fits nicely. And I think something like this would be good. I like it. I actually like it quite well. So this layer is going to be trim to current layer. Trim to, see, what we want to do is we want to trim this. Convert. I am not sure. Maybe if we flatten the layer. If we flatten the layer, does that get rid of, and we better save our work, does that get rid of all the extra? No, it doesn't. I guess let's use the crop tool and just do that. Did that do the that did it. Okay, cool. Well, it's just there's no point having a lot more screen real estate being taken up here. Now, obviously this background is all wrong, but I think we can kind of get away with it a bit. So let's use our brush, our blur brush, and let's just turn this into a bit of a mess and see if that actually solves the problem. So I'm gonna grab my airbrush, sample this really dark color. Actually, forget that. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use this. Okay. And because what's actually behind her is like those pillars and stuff. But we don't really see too much of this background. I just don't think this background's actually that important, is the upshot of it all. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is actually add a blur to the whole layer. Let's just do a 1 pixel blur, and then I'll repeat it if I feel it isn't quite enough. And, you know, frankly, because of the okay, and then let's also do HSV adjustment. Wow. Okay. Let's reset that. All I really wanted to do is reduce her lightness. Oh boy, is that modifying the colors in a major way. So I guess to make that work, you'd have to crank down the saturation. Boy, that's annoying. Let's cancel that. Let's do curves and just see if that's a little less egregious. Yeah, that's a little less egregious. That's all I wanted. Just something like that. I think that works pretty well. Now, if we take this out and we add another layer, what we could do is kind of sample this blue color and give it that a little bit more. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in effectively some noise. And then dial it in. There's just a little bit of a sense of some gradient action going on here a little bit. Okay, so now at full size, she's a little blurry, granted, but your focus is definitely going to be on mainly Zen on this shot. I want to go ahead and cut it into the show and see how it flows. What I'm trying to get at is whether the sort of pixelated distortion of her is going to be, is it a problem or is it not a problem? Stuff like that oftentimes is not a problem. So, and if it is, we'll just go ahead and redraw her, no big deal. Or do a screenshot at a higher resolution, which I guess I could have done in the first place, but that's okay. This is 119, so let's render it and see what we get. 0, 1, 1, 9. And go, baby. So yeah, this was going to be an OpenTunes one, and I just kind of got carried away in Krita because I'm definitely more productive here, and I hope I don't get this whole thing done and find out that the audio is all screwed up. For some reason, on the last video I did, the audio was wacky. It's like my microphone sounded like it had some sort of delay on it or something. Okay, we might have a problem here. File, new. Save that. Okay. Now, file, let's reopen this. And, yeah, I mean, probably not bad. Let's just hit the play button and see what happens. Yeah, it's my opinion that I'm going to leave this for now. I may come back and fix this later, change it. But it's my opinion that because your eyeballs' attention is going to be so squarely on Zen, you're not going to think about the fact that she looks a little pixelated in the background. I think we're safe. Okay, so now this guy, this was also a Krita shot. And the shadow's obviously kind of stupid. So let's get rid of that. And let's see what we have here. Okay, that's interesting. Well, I guess that's correct. I guess that's what we had. So why would we animate that but not the shadow? This seems kind of stupid. And it doesn't do us any good to kind of sort of bake the shadow into it, because we're going to have to do so multiple times. I would say this just looks so completely dumb that I think this shot needs to just be completely redrawn. I mean, obviously, number one, he's not rendered that well, and number two, we could use horizontal mirroring to get him perfectly symmetrical, and maybe get him a little more consistent with the way that character looks earlier in the show. So I think with that, we'll call it good, and as you guys know, there will be more later. So stay in tune, check out Clerical Errors here on YouTube, see if you like it, and like I said, there will be